In recent news, Lilium's management released a letter to shareholders. In that letter, management said adjusted cash spend for the first half of 2023 was within budget, and the company was successful in an audit from the European Union Aviation Safety Agency. Last week, Lilium also made some news. This article is coming from the Motley Fool, why Lilium stock is down big today. So the aerospace startup returned to the markets for yet more funding, and investors are worried about dilution. So when you are requesting more funding, you usually put up more shares, which dilutes the earnings, or you take on more debt. In this case, they're raising close to 200 million in additional capital. So Lithium is one of the number of companies racing to bring what is known as electric vertical takeoff and landing aircrafts to the market. The so-called flying taxis are about the size of a van or a small truck and offer the promise to one day ferry passengers over city traffic or funnel traffic to airlines from outer suburbs. So in that race, you have Joby Aviations and Archer Aviations, and then this Vertical Aerospace, to name a few. So again, investors tend to hate secondaries because they are usually priced at a discount and they add extra shares to the market and can disrupt the balance between supply and demand. The reaction is more likely severe. Again, this announcement is more severe because they just was in the markets in May where they raised an additional $100 million in cash. So if we go to the stock, we're going to start with the monthly chart, and it's ugly, right? It is very ugly. Since going public, the stock has just crashed. However, it appears that we're getting some life. Just see. All right, you got 2 consecutive up months, not by much. You went from 45 cents to just say almost $2. Now, what you can see on the monthly chart, the July candle opened higher, could not take out that high to go lower, right? So just looking at the monthly chart, prices are going lower. But to get some additional clues, let's go to the weekly chart. And again, like I said, you have potentially what is the makings of a bottoming. All right, this candle here in May was on high volume, then you had a gap. All right, so let's put a floor at, say, 50 cents. You also have, for the first time in a very long time, probably the first time ever, you have a bullish crossover between the 13 and the 26 simple weekly moving average. Price is testing that 13 weekly moving average. But I think the buyers and the liquidity is closer to the dollar level, which is a round hole psychological number. So let's do green for potential buyers to come in. Now let's analyze this a bit closer on the daily chart. This is very bearish. And it appears that they have earnings after the bell. So this is going to be definitely a market mover. Now, last time they had earnings, it was down but muted. Had a gap down. $1 to $125, $1.45. So maybe it won't be a market mover. What's interesting about the daily chart, you do have price butting up against this 200-day moving average. It appears that the 200-day moving average wants to level off, but that's going to take some time. And so for the next, say, couple of months, that moving average is going to serve as resistance / support. If I was a betting man, I would say it's going to serve as resistance. As price is going to go lower, looks like price wants to also test that 100-day moving average, which butts up against the dollar level. So the chart suggests price is going to move lower. You do have a gap that has to get filled, but doesn't have to get filled anytime soon. Again, if I look at the weekly chart, typically in a bottom pattern, you usually have a retest which forms a double bottom. Maybe October-ish. Maybe price doesn't get back to the 50-cent level. If you believe in the stock, technicals is one thing. Got to look at the fundamentals. Got to look at their cash. How much cash flow do they have to last until they get something onto the market? You know, in this case, it's just not the technicals. But if you're going just off the technicals, look for price to move lower, at least another 20 cents minimum. But I think Lilium is forming a bottom, which could take until the rest of the year. Again, look for a double bottom as a sign for a confirmation that we have bottomed on Lilium. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.